Pillbug9 here with another episode of PillbugCraft. So, plan for today is we're gonna finish up the jungle area build that we started last time by terraforming this area over here to look more like a overgrown jungle cave, so that you can come out of the nether portal and then exit through the cave and approach our temple build that's going to replace our current outpost in the jungle that's inside this hill here. And then after that, we're gonna go back to our base and install the potion brewing machine in our potion lab, because I finally have a design that I want to use for that. But first things first, gotta go ahead and terraform this area, because right now it doesn't look the greatest. Of course, there's a bunch of stuff in these chests. I think I'm probably just gonna cover over these areas and leave the chests here so we can come back and deal with those at a later time. So this whole area is gonna remain unchanged. We're pretty much just gonna cover that up with a wall here. So, yes. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get to work on this, and I'll be back in a second. Now that should be done. I also decided to go ahead and do a little bit of decoration out here. I think the only thing left to do for this pond is actually, some lily pads. So, yeah. Anyway, this is the area that I just terraformed. Of course, all of the chests and stuff are still behind that wall there, but I put in a spore blossom. I've got a decent amount of moss, even a little pond over here with a small drip leaf in it. And I'm using glowberries to light the place in here. So I think this just about does it for this project. Now, there's one more thing to do here to finish off this temple. I will come back and put a little bit of wildlife inside the pond and stuff, probably by the next episode. But let's sleep through the night here, and there's one more addition to this temple I needed to make. Figured I would save that for last. So this block here of smooth stone is actually supposed to be a lodestone, which I didn't have last time. Now I do have it, so we'll put that in the floor there, and that will allow us to be able to, if I get a compass out of here, can make a lodestone compass that will mark the location of this temple, which will be very useful when we're running around and looking for structures near here and stuff. And I guess maybe an anvil would be a good thing to have in here too, now that I think about it. Where do I put an anvil? That would look kind of cool on top of the furnace, I think. Yeah, anvil and a furnace. Perfect. And with that, I think this area is complete. And I suppose we should name this. There, Jungle Outpost. Perfect. We'll throw that in here because we don't need it right now. Okay, I think we're good here then. Let's just put this box back in here. And this one back in here. And now let's head on back to our base so we can go install that design I have for a potion brewing machine back in our potion lab then. Okay, so we made it back from the jungle outpost. I put away all of our stuff that we did not need. And now let's head down to the potion lab. Of course, we've still got the door, a real fancy door. Well, I mean, it's not real fancy, but it's kind of fancy. But anyway, we're going to be putting the potion machine on this wall here. I believe I managed to shrink the design down just enough for it to fit, although it's going to span the entire length of this wall. And instead of what my original plan was to have auto potion machines, instead I've pretty much gone ahead and got a design that's more like one of these. It's as fast and stuff, but we won't have to consult our chart for potions really all that much in order to be able to use this new design, which I guess I'll show you in creative mode in a second while I build this here, probably. But it's a design that I found a tutorial for online, and then I modified the tutorial to suit my needs. Or, didn't modify the tutorial, I modified the machine, rather. But I guess I'll get to digging out a space for this thing, and I'll show the machine in creative mode. Okay, so this would be the machine that I've put together here. Like I said, the front panel here and the part that does the actual brewing of the potion is a tutorial that I found. I'll have that linked below. But everything else is what I've added to it. It did not have a way of actually extracting the potions from here other than taking them out of the brewing stand, which that wasn't acceptable to me, so I added this little system here, which does just that, and it also refills the water bottles. So, we fill that up with water bottles there, in that chest. And then what we do is we can select, make sure I got items in this one, the type of potion we want. And then from here we can select if we want to add any of these ingredients to it. So, if I remember correctly, that makes it longer, and that should make it splash potion. Or, yeah, that should make it a splash potion, and if we flick this, it would turn the splash potion into a lingering potion, too. So, when you're happy with your settings, let's not actually put that many turned on. It'll take forever to brew the potion if we do that. Let's just go ahead and do 2 of them for demonstration here. And then we just hit the button over here when we want to brew the potion. Wait for a little bit. Nether wart goes in first, obviously. Come back when that's done. Then in goes the golden carrot right after. I guess we can actually see these. As you can see, it dispensed them out in the correct order, and it landed in the hopper up there, which is feeding this thing. So, it just gets put in the correct order and brewed up. And then I'll demonstrate this section when this is done. That is now done brewing. That's the exact potion we requested from the selector panel. And then when we're ready to brew another one, we just hit this button. It empties those into the chest down here and stocks this with 3 fresh water bottles. And the nether wart's added automatically, which does pose an issue because one of the things I did want to brew with this was weakness, and that's the one potion that doesn't use nether wart. So, I'm debating about whether it would be worth filling that last dropper with, or putting that last dropper over here, having a way of powering that so that it doesn't fire ever, or if it'd be more beneficial to have just a separate little machine somewhere on the other side of the room. But that'll be something to figure out in the future. Gotta get this built first. And the final part of this machine to show the other thing that I added to the design, because it didn't initially have it, is this system here. So if we throw in some items into here, that gets pumped out, and then it goes into here, where I just have one of these item filtering systems up here. And it does loop back on itself in case any items get passed without getting picked up, but so far I haven't had that problem. So these are all item filtered, as you can see here. The standard item filters. Nothing too special. Of course, this chest does align the items so that they'll technically be on both the ice and the hoppers, which is what allows the system to work. And I'm sure most of you have probably seen that design before, though. But anyway, that's about all there is to it. And this design of Ocean Brewer, and I rewired some stuff so that it would be auto-refillable. I suppose this is actually different redstone back here, just a little bit, because I made this modification here. The regular design had the redstone going where these hoppers go. And it was a real pain to figure out exactly how to do it, but I did finally come up with this way of redoing the way that these get powered. I have had a few issues because I've redone it like this, like the machine being slightly less reliable. But I think that has something to do with this modification here. Sometimes I was noticing that this doesn't always get the order of potion ingredients right. But it's not a hard thing to fix. And it doesn't usually happen if you wait long enough after hitting that button. So, I don't exactly know what's going on with that. But, yeah. Rerouted the redstone line down here, as opposed to right behind it, to allow this thing to be able to have this system back here for automatic refilling. So when we ever want to restock this thing with any of those ingredients, we can just chuck them in there. Probably on PillbugCraft, I'm also going to have these items actually renamed to the kind of potion they make. Just to simplify things a bit. Then we don't even have to remember what the potion is from the item. But that just about covers everything there is to do with this machine. So, let's jump back on the PillbugCraft server, where hopefully I've built this thing correctly. So we can, well, I guess give it a test run to make sure I did build it right. Okay, machine should be built. I was just picking up a bit of ender pearls from our ender pearl station up there, just in case we need to get back behind this thing because something doesn't work. But I'm hoping everything does work. I got our little setup here. We'll test the item sorter afterwards, but I believe I've got everything working. I have all these named. I have all the item filters back behind this thing set correctly. I decided to switch out a few other potions from this thing. Mainly that one. I put in the slow fall potion instead of the... I think it used to be the... Yeah, it used to be a spider eye, a fermented spider eye. That potion wouldn't have worked with this machine because it always gives you nether wart, so I axed that one from the design. We'll figure out something else to get our weakness potions. But, anyway. Let's go ahead and test this thing, then. I got this panel open. If it works well, we won't have to worry about that. Let's take out our water bottles here, use our cauldron. Gotta do this properly. Our tools up. 1, 2, 3. Refill. 1, 2, 3. Refill. Okay. Let's open this. That is a stair, by the way. So is this. So we can still do that. So we fill this thing in. Yeah, there we go. That filled up. It's a good sign. Now, what do we want our first potion that we brew with the system to be? Needs to be one that I know I stocked sufficiently. Let's do the night vision. That's an easy one to restock. And we're going to be needing that for one of the adventures we need to go on with the other members of the server. Now then, what else do we want? Do we want to increase the potency, the duration, make it a splash potion, or add lingering effect? For night vision, I usually want, yeah, so no splash potion, no lingering. I do want longer duration. So I guess we'll just do the one that we tested in creative mode and make sure this actually brews that correctly. And then I guess we'll try to brew something else. So, I'm both excited and terrified to hit this button. But I can't wait here all day, so here goes. Ugh. Hopefully it works. Please don't break, please don't break, please don't break. So far, so good. We can check in here. Aha! Looks like the potions entered the system correctly. And not out of the woods yet, though, because we still need to test this system. Well, while that's brewing, I suppose, let's look at some of the changes I made to the room. I decided glowstone behind these looked pretty cool, and I finished off this wall and this wall. Not sure what I'm gonna do for that, or the rest of the ceiling yet, but this is what I came up with. It goes over like this, has this little thing in the middle where the flower is growing. This is somewhat in the middle. Might not be perfectly centered, although I don't think this room... Yeah, this room had a 2-block center, so I couldn't really center the flower on any one specific block. But I think I managed to make it look right to some extent here. The spores flying around. This is where my Hopper minecart is. It's done. And, okay, now we cross our fingers again. Woohoo, it works! Awesome. Now, I guess we can't double check if the potions are done yet if we place a block here. Oh, I know. We need another one of those things. That's what we need. Let's go make one real quick. So I gotta use our door again. Yeah, this is what we need. This is what we need in order to do this. I'd like it to go the other direction, though. No, that's not it. We're gonna have to go back behind this thing just to get the trap door to place in the right place, aren't we? Then I suppose I can show the redstone while I'm back here as well. So this is the same redstone that you will have seen in the creative mode world for the most part. I did have to make a slight modification here because this is the wall to our garbage room. So I couldn't really modify that, so I had to make this part of it run a little closer to the door, but I think it worked out okay. Now, there. Perfect. So you can have that shut. I know it's a little out of place, but not a whole lot I can do with that. Hopefully it's not that out of place, considering we used those for the lighting as well. Now then, let's make sure that this thing really does work. Let's do a different potion just to make sure it works. Now, which one that we would like to be a splash potion? Because I want to try and make a slightly more complicated potion. Speed, fire resistance, instant health, I suppose. Yeah, let's do instant health. So we'll pull that. We'll make it instant health 2. And it will be a splash potion. Now we hit the button. That isn't good. Why did that one fire? What? Okay, lovely. Something's wrong with the system. Okay, this back here was a repeater. It was meant to be a torch. So, I don't know exactly how I made that mistake, but these are all supposed to be on, constantly powering these droppers so that when we mess with the switches there, it doesn't fire those when we turn off the switches and the torches turn back on. I think we're good now. Now, of course, I appear to be out of glass bottles to test this thing. So... But it did work to brew these. Though that was before I tried to fix it, so... Hopefully we're good still. Let's just go under there with that. Then put our chest back. I think this thing works now. I should go grab some glass bottles just to check. But first, when I was testing this, I got a bunch of junk in my inventory. So let's just go ahead and toss all of this back in here. Get this part of the system going. Now, that should have taken care of everything. Double check to make sure everything ended up where it was supposed to. I mean, nothing else can actually pick up any of these, so... I'm pretty sure that I... Whoops. Pretty sure that I did get everything right back here. Yeah. Okay. Now, I don't have a huge amount of ocean ingredients, but the amount we do have will be growing over time. Okay, so... I think that about does it for that. So hopefully I can figure out a design for that wall, and I'm thinking we'll probably do like a nether wart farm and maybe a auto brewer for weakness over here on this wall. Because that would kind of fit with the theme. And this Spore Blossom is an awesome thing for the ceiling, which I also need to come up with an idea for what exactly to do with the ceiling as well. Let's give this thing one final test. I'll go get some more glass bottles. Okay. They decided the blue one wasn't really working, so this one you can't see behind it unless you flip it up. So, yep. I also stocked this thing completely up, so we'll be able to do a few test runs. Well, the main thing is you want to make sure nothing fires off when it's not supposed to. So let's try a complicated one again and make sure it got the order right. Let's actually do a simple one followed by that. Again, we'll do that one. Longer duration. So, I guess I'll just redo the test that we did before, and hopefully nothing goes wrong this time. Okay, those came out fine. And if we hit this button, well, that caused the trapdoor to do that. Good, nothing else happens, and that does what it's supposed to. Perfect. Now, we shut that off. We shut that off. Nothing should happen down at this end. Been waiting here for a few minutes. Nothing has happened. Very good. So we would be ready to do another potion. Say we want to change it. Say we want to do what we did before and have a instant health 2 that is a splash potion. Nothing should happen until we hit the button. Nothing has happened here. Good, good. Now we hit this button. Nether wart first. That's a good sign. Good. Looks like it's in the right order so far. Perfect. Made the potion that we wanted. Now again, if we hit this button, nothing else should happen. Good. Then those end up in here. Okay, now it definitely works. So, turn all of those off. Make this a blank selection, double check that nothing else has happened here. Think our system is working then. Let's dump that back in there. Well then, I'd consider that a success for an episode. And I'm gonna clean up all the stuff that I set up over here earlier. And this would be it for the episode then. So, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving it a like. If you really loved it, consider subscribing. And I'll load up the system a bit off camera with some more ingredients. And, well, that'd be it for me for today. My name is PillbugCraft, and so long till next time.